Alright, so today has been fun. Had my battery die on me, so I got to replace that. Luckily, the guy I work with, John, is really awesome and came and jumped my car for me, so I could go to work this morning. Here is my sewer pipe, so we have this stuff, primer, and then we have this stuff, which I just put on both of these. So I should really work fast because I have this piece, and then I need to get that connected to there. So it's fun and it's good times, but I think I've got it figured out. So I'm gonna just sit this here and watch me struggle, because that should be fun, right? Alrighty. Almost forgot, I do want to connect the end down here first and get that slid on so that this will fit in right. So we're gonna twist that on, and I have a limited amount of time to work with before the glue dries. But the way that I have this at this point, should probably got this like this and then apply the glue. That would make a lot more sense. Alright, there we go. So now pull it back out a little bit. Now this is part of the reason why I'm using the flexible coupling, which as near as I can tell should not be a problem. Although some people have been like, why are you using that? So maybe, hopefully it won't end up being a problem. I'm going to go ahead and pause this while I go and get my mallet to get this down on here. Alrighty, so I don't know how well you can see here, but see, I can, oh, that might have been a horrible mistake. Because technically, you're supposed to twist this back and forth to get that on there. You know what, I did go completely backwards. So, I'm going to redo this pipe, realizing what I did wrong, because I've been a little bit silly. So I'm going to reapply my glue and primer because, yeah, it's dried now. So I won't edit out my mistakes. We'll keep this probably. So what I did instead now is I went and put this on and slid up past the point where the pipe will need it. So I can just slide that over. That's 3-inch. This is 4-inch for the sewer connection. This has been a fun endeavor. I don't have video of the other part, but my mistake, I told them to put this part right here facing that way, which doesn't work on a number of levels, and I ultimately had no choice but to remove it, which took a lot of work. If you want to remove PVC from PVC, because I had to preserve this part of the pipe over here because that's all I had to connect to. So I actually had to heat up this and just peel it off bit by bit. It took me like half an hour, which wasn't too bad, but again, my mistake. Alright, so now I have this piece of PVC here. I'm going to go and put my glue on. I'm going to put it to the actual sewer pipe there, and then I'm going to connect them together, and I will have sewer. Well, I don't actually have sewer, but I will have it connected, so I can get this stuff enclosed and whatnot. Alright, put this on. People can laugh and watch the hilarity of me struggling with trying to be handy. See, the red-green thing, women can't find you handsome, they should at least find you handy. Well, women often find me funny, so I've got that going for me. Sometimes men too. Which is really not necessarily a huge plus for me personally. No, yeah. No judgment if it's a plus for you, that's just not really. I mean, I prefer to be liked by everyone as much as I can be, you know. But, alright, so we got a bunch of glue on here. And I'm gonna get that on there. So, anyways, it has been a learning experience. I realized I had no idea about things like that. Not only did you have cement, but you had a primer that had to go on before the cement. See, I'm sort of doing a twist back and forth and pressure down. Get this on there, and fully seated. And it looks like our height is pretty much perfect. we got almost perfect alignment here, which should work just fine, and then I'll go and slide my connector down, and I'm done. So, alright, I'll pause this for now, because it's going to be really boring. Alright, so anyway, so I have this all on now, and I loosened these up so that I could bring them around to where I can use a screwdriver on them easily. Actually, I didn't loosen this one up yet. A little bit, just so I can get in a little easier spot for easy use of the screwdriver. And tighten those down, and my plumbing will be connected. Obviously, I need to give it just a little time for glue to harden and everything, but it's pretty solid. All right. I have sewer. The next step is water. And for water, I have these 2 points here, which were leaking because I didn't get it properly wrapped the first time. So it's just like a little drip leak between those 2 points of connection. So I'm going to go grab my Teflon tape, clean off that thread, rewrap it, put the Teflon paste on there as well, connect it up, and we'll see how it goes. I'm under the house doing this. Now there's actually enough space I could crawl under here, but I intentionally didn't finish. Well, this is where the electrical is going to be too, so where my rear end is right now, my legs and such. But you notice, like, I did that over there next to the sewer pipe, left a little bit of the ditch until I finish this work, just to make it easier to get in here. And I will try and fill those in tomorrow, actually. But just checking the thread and cleaning it out. One fortunate thing, by the way, with these, this is PEX, and this is one of those shark bite things. One nice thing with this is that it turns completely, so makes doing this connection a lot easier. Whereas if I already had this connected, otherwise, I would have to be taking all kinds of things apart probably to get this right. So, alright, so I'm going to go and wrap this up with tape, and I'm not going to do a video on that because I'm sure you can find videos everywhere of that kind of thing. And do this connection. Alright. We're going to call this take 2 on attaching the water line. May or may not include take 1, depending on how feel about being embarrassed by any mistakes I made. Basically, it turns out that it is actually possible to over tighten these. So I'll go back over real quick the way I'm doing this. The first time I put the wrong type of tape on here because I wasn't paying attention to what I was doing. Just grabbed the first thing in my toolbox. Teflon tape, Teflon lubricant, gel, stuff, whatever, paste. Got this end. And luckily, because this is on PEX, it's easy connect type stuff, the shark bite. This spins, which makes this a lot easier to attach. I don't have pipe wrenches, so I'm using vice grips. And as I noted previously, it's important to note which direction you're pushing and push against the movable handle side so that you don't accidentally open it up, which is why I have that right there, because the other night I was being tired and lazy, not paying attention, and whacked myself in the head while messing with this. So also probably don't try and do plumbing in the dark. Anyways, so we have our paste here. I'm gonna apply a generous smear of paste to started to undo my silicone tape, and all the instructions obviously indicate to apply the tape in the same direction as your threads so that you aren't pushing it off as you're threading it. So there we go. So I got my generous helping of this stuff on here, and I'm gonna actually try to keep that out of the dirt, be super crazy, and apply some inside of here as well, just to sort of double up a little bit. So I have not seen, oh, I should have dried that out first. Well, yeah, there's not a ton of water in there. This is not something I saw on any instructionals on the internet. I don't know if this is a good idea, but I will soon find out. If it's a bad idea anyways. Yeah, there's no reason why it should hurt or create a problem to have a little extra inside of the thread. Alright, so next, gotta take this Gonna find my thread point, which, there we go. Alright, so hand tightening that, and then once I have this hand tightened as tight as I can by hand, which I will say with the Teflon lubricant stuff on here is a lot easier to do than it was without it. Getting a lot further by hand than I did before. Alrighty, I'm gonna go ahead. So I need to turn this that way. So I need my big vice grip, which is gonna be here holding this, facing that way, and I need my small vice grip facing this way. Ooh, not as tight as I thought. So make sure that's on correctly. There we go. And I think I'm just going to go until I feel pretty good resistance. I'm not going to try and over tighten because it seemed to contribute to leaking previously, having it over tight. So there we go. All connected up. So now for a leak test. Holding my breath a little bit. Does appear I got everything tightened down enough. No sign of leaks. I'm gonna leave it pressurized for a little while to see if it builds up or anything. So that goes up. I actually drilled a hole in the bottom of the tongue box, 1/2 inch hole. I'm gonna get some spray foam and seal up around the hole up inside. Now that this is all done, this line comes straight out there. I am going to put heat tape along the whole length of this, and I'm also probably going to do heat tape along the sewer, just to be extra safe. So these things are connected up. I'm going to do a real quick little tour. This is much for my brother, who told me he did an extensive project with PEX tubing, and a kid called him for some advice. So Elon, this part is actually kind of for you, so you can see what I did. So that goes in under. What I end up doing, because I was looking at all kinds of complicated ways of doing this, I had an external connection here, which I haven't done anything to eliminate. You see it on this side. This would be for like a water hose that you could get your water from. So what I simply did was I came around here, I cut this there. This turns 180 degrees very easily. And I just connected a elbow in with the PEX. It's the quick connect type. You can see this is holding very nicely. And